Yes. Loomian Legacy, one of few games on Roblox that actually seems to have effort put into it. If it hasn't been obvious by a multitude of reasons, I am a huge fan of Pokémon, so you can imagine the heartbreak of 8-year-old me finding out that my tablet couldn't run Brick Bronze. But funnily enough, it was able to run Loomian Legacy, which is the game I played for this video. It's the sort of successor to Brick Bronze. The developers made this game after the death of Brick Bronze and slowly kept adding to the game over time. I'm too lazy to see how far they've actually gotten, so I'll just assume that they have at least 7 medals available, but I decided to only get 3 of them because the title says tried for a reason. I'll get some more reasons why, just kidding, I only have 2. 1, I'm a lazy bum, and 2, I don't feel like making another long-ass video, even though the script is already 2,000 words. Anyways, without further ado, let's get started on my short adventure of Loomian Legacy. The game opens up, and then suddenly, a huge storm strikes their hometown of Middletown, and to my dad's shock, the stone tablet that him and his assistant have been suddenly just has its text switch around. So I decided to finally head downstairs and name myself Pokebro by getting my Loomian watch from my mother, of course. All of a sudden, as I was meeting up with my dad to confront him about what the hell was happening, the stone tablet just suddenly breaks into pieces and goes all over the region of Roria. After a parent talk that I definitely remember, they decide to task me with finding these stone pieces that are all over the region. So they decide to give me a Loomian, and with that, I have a wide variety of starters to pick from, including an Ice, Dark, and even a new Light-type starter. But I also mean to decide on Vampet. It's the one I picked the most as a kid. It was either that or Dripple, so I just decided to go with the one that looks like Noibat. I named it Noid after its predecessor that I just mentioned, and then kicked my mom in a battle. But I figured I should explain the replacement for PP in this game, energy. Every time you use a move, it will obviously cost some energy. Your energy stat is determined by your level, but eventually, if you're in a longer fight, it will run out. So if you thought you won't run out, you're wrong. You either have to wait a turn, only restoring a little bit of energy, or you can rest to restore a huge amount of energy instead. But it does let your guard down for a bit. From what I've seen, the guard down for rest doesn't really punish you all that much, so waiting is pretty inferior to resting from what I've seen. I enjoy the system for the sake of strategy, and it definitely adds to my experience of the game. Anyways, now I head out of town to embark on a stupid little adventure. Anyways, I am first tasked to head to the Gale Forest, because my father detected a stone tablet piece there. But along the way, I pick up a Cathorn and name it Debug. You know, like debug, but it's like the bug instead. Yeah, I know, I'm very good at names. But anyways, after getting wrecked by some random trainer that had 3 Pokemon with bugs, so my starter does not like that at all, I eventually made it to the lair of the protector of the forest, Duckskid, which some old man warned me about and was telling the police about before I even went into the forest. Because of its name, I led with Debug to try to have some super effective damage, but she was so weak and pathetic that she did barely any damage at all, so I used Noid to slowly but surely chip this dang thing down. With Duskit's corruptness now, I can now send back the tablet to my father before heading into the next big city for my first battle theater. Before actually heading into the battle theater, I actually caught a Geklo that I named Chomp because it has a big ass jaw, and also it has a really sick typing of Electric Light, which will come handy for this first battle theater. Battle theaters are just gyms, but are a lot more straightforward. You do 3 puzzles and fight 2 trainers, and of course the battles start after the 3rd puzzle, which is supposed to be the hardest, but as we'll see soon, that always isn't the case. But this battle theater really liked the type theme to my knowledge. That was until I got to Naya, the Battlestar herself. It was when she led with a Geklo and had black and white clothing that I figured out that the gym theme is actually both dark and light types. But there was also a fucking rat, so I didn't really know what else to assume. I led with Debug just for her to do absolutely nothing before dying, so Noid cleaned up Geklo 1. But not before being insanely low, so I swapped him out for Chomp once the second Geklo came in. I heal Noid back up with a small med, and got a stare off before switching back to Noid to take down Geklo 2. And then, her ace Kleptite came in. but luckily for me, I knew that their typing was dark. So I subbed into Chomp as it came out. I used a small med to heal, but Pilfer ended up killing my Chomp anyways, so I just send Noid back in and slowly but surely chip it down, using yet another small med in the process. Keep in mind that those things are pretty valuable due to my low cash at this point in the game, but with my first medal obtained, I got the Loomian Watch app that you get 1 of per medal. They usually just let you erase a roadblock, like the Black Void on Route 4 that was in my way, and also in Gale Forest, but before I even got the app in the cave, there was this random ass kid that said he was from a different world or something. He obviously has to gatekeep for plot to happen. I beat him pretty quickly, and then he just runs away like a pussy. With the app in hand, I flashbang the wall on Route 4, but then I just get jumped by 2 petulant children, even though I'm literally helping them by removing the roadblock. I won pretty easily, but I think my video titles for these recordings says enough about how I feel about these fuckers. I go through Route 4 and catch a slug thing that I named Sludge that is a plant type, which is just grass, but not. And also clean out some old man's house for some burn gels, before seeing a monk get jumped by evil monks on Route 5. I head inside the cave that I get jumped in, and lo and behold, it's a fiery cave, which means I get jumped by wild Pokemon every 5 seconds. And keep in mind, I think there's only 2 possible people to catch here. I ended up catching a Cradle that I named Steve, but also keep in mind I have to fight a bajillion trainers that turn back to normal after I beat them for some reason, which means back and forth to the Loomian Center all the way back in Sylvan City. Yeah, screw this cave. After battling the last guy, I am told to go to the castle up in Route 5, so after solving a quick puzzle, I found another correct Pokemon that I don't remember the name of, because I lost the footage of the fight, but I remember it being annoying, so just take my word for it. With that random Pokemon out of the way, I get the stone tablet that was corrupting everybody, and be on my merry way to the second battle theater found in the village that I took the thumbnail in. And as I was progressing, this second puzzle broke me. The solution took a bit to figure out, but wasn't that awful. The real fact is that it's so easy to mess up. You could accidentally push a single space too far, and you'll have to restart the entire puzzle. I actually had to do this one twice because I lost to the Battlestar Accio on my first try, so I was insanely livid and wanted to die because I had to spend another 5 minutes pushing these stupid blocks. I remember that the first attempt took 15 minutes. Remember what I said about the final puzzle not always being the hardest? Well, look at this! A toddler could look at this picture and figure out the solution immediately. Fuck that puzzle. Anyways, let's fight the second battle theater Star Accio for the second attempt. This guy is actually a pain because he uses fire types, and in this game, Dark is weak to fire, so my now-turned Diva Bat, that I didn't mention even though he evolved quite a while ago, isn't going to be too great for this battle, but trust me, he'll still find a way to carry. I don't really like this evolution, but anyways, I construct a brilliant plan. I take down Cradle so easily that with Chomp that I completely forgot to record that interaction, but luckily I had it up for the rest of the fight. As you just saw, Wispup got owned by Chomp as well, and then a stupid volcano came in. I used Tase on him for guaranteed paralysis, but Chomp died because he has a ground move. Debug came in to get 2 huge stairs off on him, so with all this setup, I brought out Noid. And I used a signature move that I got upon my evolution, Blood Drain, which is an absolutely diabolical move. It works exactly like Leech Seed, and it's on a dark type. So with -2 defense and a powerful Never Miss Bamboozle, which negates all the stupid dodge spammers like this stupid volcano, and also dodge just protect but worse, I was able to easily beat the volcano this time around to get my second medal, giving me the ability to burn down some random roots on my way to Route 6. I got confused between roots and, route, because some people say route instead of route, and I think that's stupid. Whatever. Nothing much of interest happens on my road to Sephiroth City besides a bunch of trainer fights and exploring, so now that I'm here, I get jumped by some troublesome kids again as I was trying to explore the city. But this time, it's to be allowed to go on tour of this big-ass company with them, and they're actually kind of friendly towards me this time. or if it was actually in my control, I would tell him to piss off. But the battle star is kinda there, so I guess I have to go with them. I slowly beat down Lucas and Lucy's team, because those are the two kids that fought me earlier, with Noid and Chomp before going on the tour with them. I didn't record, so I'll just summarize what happened as this battle plays. We went inside the company building to take a tour, finding out that they're artificially made Loomians that we've seen a couple of before I went to the city. The mysterious caveman from earlier also joined our party, and his name is Jake. The group leader Mabel was clearly into him, by the way. She was like, "Ooh, so hot." Whatever, nobody gives a fuck. After the tour, we discussed at a cafeteria table and decided to work together to get the stone tablets. We found out that Jake was actually trying to save someone he cared about before getting transported to this world. Yet again, he's gatekeeping for the sake of plot. And Mabel also revealed why she can't have Loomians, because her mom doesn't trust her after some incident. So with that tour out of the way and a lot of dialogue to sit through, I met Foss the Battle Star on the way out, who heads back to the Battle Theater. So it's time for me to get to the third Battle Theater. But I should mention that she was in an accident, but the company gave her new cyber limbs, and we even see some random Loomian trainers with cyber gear too, so I think it's pretty clear with all these promoting scums that this company is going to be evil. Anyways, it's time for the third Battle Theater. And the puzzle here is actually pretty fun, letting me switch between controlling yourself and this robot. But after a quick YouTube tutorial to solve the third final puzzle, because I'm an idiot, it was time to fight Foss that had no music for some reason. I led with Steve to hope for him to do something, but he got one-shotted by this wheel. Yeah, his full sprite didn't load in, probably because I'm at 1 graphics quality, if that wasn't obvious by the rest of the footage looking like absolute garbage. But I do actually know what it's supposed to look like, thanks to watching AskCat's Nuzlocke up to the point that I played the game. But anyways, I just decided to do the classic Noid Blood Drink Bamboozle Wombo combo that I've been doing for most of the problematic Pokemon in this game that I didn't mention. Her next Pokemon after Munchfield was Concerdon. And oh boy was he a problem. He took out both Sludge and Chomp and had a Sand Tomb knockoff, which was annoying as hell because I couldn't gain much health from Blood Drain anymore, but besides that, I just did the same thing again. And then, her ace came out. Yeah, look at that thing! The Giratina music just came rushing into my head, and I'll probably use it as a clip sequence here, as it just obliterated a debug. It was clear I had to do the same strategy yet again to stand a chance against this random dragon. But luckily for me, I hit Blood Drain because, in case you didn't know, that's only 95% accurate, and this guy has weak armor, which meant... oh, my bad, I meant frail armor, which lowers defense but raises speed, which is useless because it already outsped me. After taking one last air shot, Bamboozle with -2 defense took out this big-ass dragon, giving me my third and final medal for now. I watched a cutscene revealing the plot twist of the century with Dr. Fanta, whatever the hell his name is, of the stupid company I toured earlier being the bad guy. What a shocker. So yeah, that ends my adventure for now, so I'll give my thoughts on the game. Alright, I'm gonna address some pros and cons at the same time here. The XP just fucking sucks in this game. It's usually a pain in the ass in the earlier Pokemon games too, but man, the wild Pokemon just do not, Loomians, don't give like any XP in the wild, and there really isn't that many trainers to compensate for that either, so I just had to rely on my starter to do like all of the work for me. Also, the 4-member party limit is annoying, considering that benching Loomians doesn't give them that much XP at all. But I can definitely respect the effort made into some of this game's designs. Sure, they are some whack at sometimes, but most of the Loomians look pretty clean. It's always pretty fun to see a random one that you haven't seen before by finding a wild Pokemon or fighting some random trainer. Another thing I like is the attempt at a story so far. It's not anything too special, but I can respect that they're clearly setting something up with the evil company. And as I said towards the beginning, I think the energy system is a unique way to change the PP system in Pokemon. It really adds to the strategy in this game, and I really enjoy it. But another lackluster element of this game has to be the backtracking. There's usually like 2 back-to-back routes in this game in between the battle theaters, meaning that if you're kind of low on health towards the end of a second route, you have to walk through 2 entire routes to get back to a Pokemon. I meant Lumi Center to heal back up. I'm so used to Pokemon, and then my script even says Pokemon instead of Loomian sometimes. But yeah, I think that's all about it. I think that's all I have to say about this game. It's clear that there's a lot of effort put into it, and I really respect the hell out of it. I think it also just a good job at being a Thankmon game in general. So, if I ever feel like it, I may come back to this game. I just think it does have its small issues. But yeah, that's the end. Thanks for watching. Bruce.